Welcome to Venator Chronicles Podcast. I'm Ethan Taylor.
And I'm Dustin Jelly.
Our hope is to inspire new and old hunters alike.
We hope you can join us on this journey of lessons that we have, are, and will learn through the world of hunting.
We're gonna have to start getting more self-conscious about what we do because of we're gonna be on YouTube.
People can experience the full glory.
Yeah, it's gonna be real intense.
This.
Things are gonna get real. I'm gonna be making eye contact with the camera. You guys can watch this.
Smoldering eye contact.
You guys are gonna be able to watch us on YouTube, and you'll see our little makeshift studio, multi-million dollars thrown into it. I mean, a lot of thought, a lot of effort.
Yeah, we don't apologize for whatever you might see or experience.
That's true. Yeah, but it'll give you the full experience, and we're just going to keep toying with this thing as we go forward.
Yeah.
You go first. You go first.
I think Ethan, what year is it?
It's 2020.
It's finally 2020.
It's here.
It's here, baby. So
yeah, dude. What do you think is an appropriate thing to do after the year ends?
Party.
Or review the year we had before.
We could do that.
Look forward to the year that's coming ahead.
Oh man, that sounds so cliche.
Dude, it is. It is. And
hey, that's what we're doing.
Let's do it.
That's what we're doing.
So I'm going to lower my chair.
All right.
So I don't look as tall.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, there we go. A little bounce.
Yeah.
Well, where should we start? The beginning of last year? I mean,
it's been almost a year.
Yeah, it was
almost
like
a year since we've started.
February 18th or something like that. Somewhere mid-February we dropped our first podcast episode. So
I knew it was February. I don't know the specific date of our anniversary.
I looked,
our
but
podcast anniversary.
It's yeah. So man, let's just talk about some of the things we've done, some of the things we've experienced, some of the things we learned. I mean, we're going to do like an overview. We were not going to do like everything because that's what the podcast does anyway.
We'd be here for 5 hours.
Right. But just like an overview and maybe things that we haven't talked about the actual podcast even.
Yeah.
And just starting that.
Well, I think a good starting place is just that the overall lesson that we've had to learn, all this.
Dude,
and
yeah.
Like one of my favorite memories from last year was that first night that we went to record and how many hours did it take us? At least 2?
It took us like 2 or 3 hours setting up everything for the first time.
And YouTubing multiple videos on how to get things working and connected.
It was
great.
There was a lot of effort into the just even figuring out how to get sound into the computer. And I've always considered myself like on the techier side, but that definitely I was like, yep, guess not. So now, but we're building on that obviously because we're going to be
on YouTube
to actually watch because that's my preferred way to actually listen to podcasts is watching when I can. So we'll be adding that to the repertoire.
Yeah,
as it were.
Should be fun for 2020.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah, and we've upgraded some equipment, right? We started on all borrowed stuff,
yes.
right?
Yeah,
like
so
everything.
Again, a huge shout out to Mark Goad. Mark Goad, if you're still listening. I mean, I don't know if he is.
It's a hit or miss.
He probably got tired with us. But yeah, it was nice having a friend that did DJing because he had a bunch of extra equipment, and so we were able to start off nice and cheap, and then we upgraded nice and cheaply.
Yeah, I mean, when we saw it was worthwhile, we're like, all right, well, let's do entry-level stuff and have it where we can kind of set it up a little bit more to our liking, so to speak.
Yeah. So if anybody out there just feels super generous and wants to like donate $2-3 grand, so that we can buy top level Joe Rogan style level podcast equipment, we'd be much appreciated. So
and I mean, if you felt so led to, pay for a studio by all means. We're definitely on that level and ready to take that step. I
definitely think that's probably the one thing that we're hopeful and maybe looking forward to eventually someday, maybe 2020.
Dude,
get in our
you never know.
Actual like full-time recording studio
somewhere just set
even
up.
If it's just somebody's closet. If anybody out there in the Duluth Superior area has a closet hidden away, not being used,
Dustin would love to come out of it. So whatever he can do to have that opportunity, we want to support him in his decision.
Oh, thank you
to do so, that's why we're here.
Our ways already won her enough. So. Anyhow, moving right along.
So we had to actually start a podcast. We've talked about the idea in episode 1, who we are, and like what was behind that. And real generally speaking is we wanted to connect with the community. Mm-hmm. We were open to sharing our ideas, our failures, our successes, all that stuff. And so then what's next? What was what would you say is the next thing we took the step into after starting this?
And the next thing I think was the fun thing was being able to connect with people and start experiencing that community aspect of all of a sudden. I mean, it was kind of weird because like you started a podcast and all of a sudden people are like, oh, hey, you're actually worth connecting with versus just as an individual, which was definitely an interesting experience. Yep. But at the same time, it was a lot of fun being able to connect with people via social media, especially Instagram. That seemed to be the big place of connecting with people that never would have connected with before, and just having that I don't know, that extended range.
That avenue to actually.
That would be a better word, avenue of connecting with people, both social media and just with a lot of our friends and family.
Yeah. Well, and that was cool is like once we started putting this stuff out there, people that we were familiar with but maybe weren't real close to or great friends with at that point, man, there's been some crazy growth there too. Mm-hmm. Just the people we already know, let alone the people we've met more recently. One thing that, like for me, I think like one of the coolest things. This podcast is probably going to jump around all over the place, but for me, I'd say like the biggest win for me. Well, two things maybe. One is hearing about and hearing from people who have never hunted that are going to hunt. Yeah. That's like unreal. Like that kind of step is huge. And, we can hope and we want to obviously help those people along, not just start people out, but, they talk about retention and that being kind of the biggest thing. And that's part of the community is actually having those people you can talk to when you do have lulls in the season or years even at times where you're not getting anything. People who've picked up bows or any weapon, who haven't touched one in many years. And then the other thing I think is cool, more of like just for our sake, I guess, is people who listen to the podcast who don't hunt, don't have an interest in it, but just like to listen and enjoy us talking about stuff that
or bantering.
It literally has nothing to do with their day, or their lifestyle, and I just think that's cool, and I really appreciate that side of it. So that for me has been like that's a big part of the goal was connecting with people, and then I guess I wouldn't have really predicted like people are going to start hunting because of it. Yeah, and so that's been huge.
Yeah, that's been one of the coolest things to see already in the first year of. Yeah, people excited about trying hunting, or whether they did last year or want to at some point. And, because I think that's a huge thing for us is just sharing the passion that we have for this.
It's infectious.
Yes.
It's infectious, and anybody's infectious if they do it, and that's where us just putting it out there, and then people, if they enjoy it, they enjoy it, and I mean, it feeds. There's people who I know right now who aren't hunting who are now debating it because it's like, well, you guys are so excited about it. I might have to try it. It's like, sweet. That's awesome. That'd be so cool.
I think just being able to present it as it's more than just going out sitting in a tree stand. Like there's so many aspects about hunting and the community, the people, the multiple dynamics that go into hunting. It's a lot of fun. And I think
there's so many things that like you get from hunting, but there's also so many things you can give back to it as well.
Microcosms of life.
Yes, that's right. And that wholeheartedly, dude, that's what's been awesome is like you end up growing as a person when you're learning to persevere, and then whether you end up with success, quote unquote success in the world,
or you contemplate the existence of your whole hunting time spent.
You wrestle.
Future episode coming on that.
You end up wrestling with the idea of if you put in all your best effort and you still don't end up
with anything.
What does that mean, right?
Yeah.
And so,
who am I? What's the meaning of life?
That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
So then what else? So that was anyway. So I jumped into it. That's kind of like one of my favorite things.
So I mean, kind of the spin-off on just that community aspect. I think just one of the fun things that I know we both had was just a couple of things. Being able to go and do some early morning shoots with some buddies.
That blew my mind.
Just, how connecting over flinging arrows early Monday mornings was just. I mean, it's probably the highlight of my summer/fall before I.
Yeah, it was for sure the most consistent engagement.
Yes.
And we didn't, I mean, I don't think it was like, oh, podcast engagement. It's just like, that was what
it was like the only time that we were able to hang out outside of the podcast, which, yeah, it's a weird thing to, we get together to podcast, and that's when we get to see each other.
Yeah. And yeah, so that to me, I totally agree. Like that was probably one of the highlights for me too, because it was pretty consistent, and I think we're going to be growing this next year with having more people come and join us, because it's just so much fun.
So if you're in the Duluth Superior area and you like shooting arrows, early mornings, Mondays.
Yeah. We'll let you know when we start that up.
Once the weather gets decently warm, above zero.
Yeah, maybe most
of the snow, stops snowing.
Most of the snow is melted. Yeah, that would be nice.
But then too, even going to Bowfest, and the group that we had. I mean, how many was there? It was like almost 10 of us.
Yeah,
that went together, and it was just a fun time hanging out, making fun of one another, and just having a lot of fun being there, experiencing that, and just growing as archers and as friends.
Yeah, well, and that was the first time like I felt like. First time I've done anything like that ever, as far as going to something like that.
Yeah, that was the first.
And it's always a friendly competition, right? And so, I mean, I'm like, arrows aren't cheap. And I'm up there, and I'm just like, oh man! And I had like a lot to learn from it, and it was cool.
And you couldn't get beat by the trad guy,
dude. That's right. So I thought that was really cool, and it was fun. Like the idea of like, again, the community and having that immediate feedback, whether it's half joking, half serious, whether it's a stranger behind you going like, "Oh, you need a slider on that. I'd never shoot that," and it's like,
and now, you totally revamp your setup because of one stranger's comment.
I don't know if that's why. Completely.
That's why you might deny that, but we totally know that you went out and changed your site after that one comment from that guy.
I don't know if that was it. It was a portion.
Okay. All right.
It was a factor.
95%. All right.
We're tabling that. We'll discuss that another time. What else, man? I mean, and then we had the actual season come up, right? And that was and is we're still have. I don't know when this will air. Probably after. Well, actually, we're probably going to drop this pretty quick.
Drop it right before the end of the season.
Yeah. So,
the extended season.
Yeah, there's still a little time left. But oh my goodness, dude, it's been an unexpected season for me on both for the buck and the doe, because it was not the way I intended to be hunting, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like mobile, I'm going back into dirt, and that's what I did all up to this point.
Yeah.
And then, as I shared or whatever, I think in episode 19, Coffee Buck, which is this right here.
Right there, folks.
Yeah, go look on YouTube. You'll see it. And so it was cool the way it played out. It was unique in the way it all happened and stuff. And so I definitely appreciated it. But then we haven't shared the story about the doe in town.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I think we can for people that, I don't even know if we need to make an episode on it, because you can just go watch the YouTube video that you dropped.
Yeah, there is.
That was pretty intense. So yeah, if you have time, go watch that YouTube video.
Here's the quick synopsis. This is how I've condensed it into like a 1 or 2 sentences.
Pull it up. Show people, because now that we have this awesome visual.
Yeah, you guys are gonna have to now bear with me for a minute here.
Ethan's trying to become the Jamie to Joe Rogan.
You keep talking then, because I'm gonna pull this up.
All right.
And we are gonna check out. We're just gonna pull it up.
Yeah, pull it up so you can see where to go to.
You guys can go to.
Yeah, I definitely think this hunting season has gone very differently for both of us. I mean, I think we both had different expectations for how it was going to look.
Yeah.
And between life for you, having a baby,
dude,
your schedule changing because of that. For me, just the overall hunting season just completely changing to what I thought it would be. It's definitely been a very, very interesting hunting season. Oh, hey, there we go.
Hey, look at that, Vinegar Chronicles.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're
on YouTube if you didn't realize.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, dude.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so there's actually, let's just run through it real quick.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so we got Dustin. We recently dropped a video with Dustin. We're trying to, I'm totally toying with this, you guys. It's all from a phone, and so bear with it, and I'm learning how to put this stuff together. But anyway.
Ethan's the filmer. I hate filming, just throwing that out there.
I like filming.
Don't expect me to drop a full release feature documentary anytime soon.
Oh my gosh. I like filming and editing. So anyway, the most recent one is a public land dispute. That's basically just a play on we went out and we forgot to text our buddy. We were going to the area and there's 4 of us instead of 2. But Dustin loosed an arrow at a deer.
Finally,
you got to check it out. It was pretty intense, and there's like 10 or more deer there. And then the archery doe in city limits. That one is I have it characterized as 1 deer, 2 arrows, 3 miles, 24 hours. One thing that's not on the little thumbnail is the police and DNR get involved. And so, if you guys want to kind of get a synopsis of what happened there's like a 15-minute video about that. So, yeah, well, cool. Moving right along. So you were saying...
Oh, you screwed it up.
I know. I gotta practice this.
Man. I'll tell you what. There we go.
Yeah, if you guys are wondering what we're struggling with, again, just check it out on YouTube. You'll get a good laugh on the physical side of it.
Yeah.
So, anyway, if you want to see that, it's on YouTube. But yeah, like this season has played out differently than what I thought was
What was your expectation?
Well, I mean, just to keep it kind of brief, because we'll kind of keep working through stuff. But I guess for me,
I'm not gonna bore you guys.
Yeah, like for me, I was really thinking that it was going to be that kind of like my buck last year, where I was out in the middle of nowhere, just grinding, and it was going to be continuing to stay mobile, not getting married to a spot, all those things. And then, like I had shared again in the main point of how I ended up with this deer was like, my first priority, truly, for my family and I, is that I do have meat. And so I'm going to go where does are. Mm-hmm. And so a buddy was super, super de-duper helpful with helping me get set up on that. Real close to home. And that's where I got the buck. And it was cool the way the community had come together for it. And mm-hmm. then I ended up getting that doe in a similar area. Mm-hmm. And I just didn't picture it being that close to home. I didn't picture it being such a fiasco with the second one. And then the buck was like a dream. Like I couldn't have dreamed it was gonna.
It definitely, it wasn't that like going
10 yards away. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was in a ground blind for the buck, and then no blind on the ground, snow camo, and got the doe.
So that was pretty cool.
Chased it. Yeah, that was a cool aspect. I started forgetting that as I was going on, and I was like, wait, I was on the ground the open, no blind, and was able to film it and got all of it, at least the shot and all that stuff captured, and I was like, oh, that's actually pretty cool too, because I was so wrapped up in the 24 hours and really just feeling a sense of relief that it was over when I got the deer. So, what about you? How have you felt it's been? Well, what was your expectations, and then how was it different for you than that?
Well, I think my expectations was this spring, summer, fall, I spent just tons of time listening to podcasts, watching videos, reading up on how to find deer, how to set up for them, and just learning how to hunt.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, I do all this. I felt really good going into the season. I had some good trail cam footage of some great deer. I was really excited. And it wasn't until 2 weeks ago that I was finally able to even loose an arrow.
Yeah.
So it's definitely the outcome has been way different than what I thought it should be. I was expecting, by October, I would have shot a deer. Mm-hmm. And it definitely was weird because it wasn't due to switching over to a trad bow. Mm-hmm. It was just the situations or the encounters that I thought would happen weren't happening.
Yeah.
And so it was definitely a frustrating season.
Yeah.
Even to the point where I really started questioning what I was doing, which I think we're going to drop a full episode on Dusty's mental breakdown.
I wasn't going to characterize it quite like that.
Yeah, that's putting it lightly. So it was definitely, it's one of those weird things, you do what everybody says you're supposed to do, mm-hmm. and you do X, Y, Z, and you're expecting X, Y, Z, and then you get A, B, C. Mm-hmm. And so, it's been a weird season, but been good.
If you had to characterize, if I had to characterize your season from my perspective in one word,
oh boy,
roller coaster. That would be. I think that'd be the one word I would use.
If I had to characterize Ethan's perspective of my season, would have been murder.
Dude, yeah.
And there's a few times I'm pretty sure you were ready to murder me.
I wasn't. There were times where
you were ready to leave me back in whatever state park we were in.
You know what was interesting?
Hanging from a tree.
You know what is interesting in all this is that when you say in those times, like that kind of thing, like I wasn't like, there's actually been growth for me working with someone who hasn't hunted, like, and so archery aside, just hunted in general for most of their life.
Yeah.
Well, like, cause I'm totally new to archery, but like the hunting and like approach and like the expectations, how to manage them, what happens when you don't see anything for days, weeks, whatever, years, like that kind of thing. It helped me grow on like, cause it was really challenging for me to be like, how do I help him? Like me telling him to get a straw and suck it up is not going to be effective.
Even though you wanted to tell me that so many times.
I was literally dumbfounded. I was like, this isn't the guy I know. What is happening? So as much growth as it was for you, it was for me when dealing with people who don't maybe hunt as much. And they're in for the first time encountering, you know, I've put in all this. I've been paying attention. I've built, you know, my bow from ground up. I put in the practice. I've put in the prep. I've put in all the scouting, all that stuff. And then you don't get anything.
Yeah.
And it really put in perspective for me where I was like, I haven't been fresh to that in a really long time.
Yeah.
And I've gotten lucky. I mean, there's always, I really do feel like there's an element of luck because you can't control deer at the end of the day, or any animal, right?
Yeah.
You just can't control it. And so you could do absolutely everything right. And the opportunity is not there because they are not there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so it was actually a growth thing for me too, as well, as much as it was probably for you.
Glad you don't want to kill me anymore.
Dude, I never.
Till next week.
Onward.
Well, I think so. Kind of coming back to just kind of like looking at last year. One of the things, you know, definitely towards the end of the year, and during the season. Shameless plug for our own podcast. Was just not being able to record as much. You know, that was definitely a struggle. And I mean, you know, kind of talk about it more in the future episode. But even for me, I got to a point where I didn't even want to talk about hunting.
Dude, I know.
And so like the thought of recording, I was like, I'm out.
Dude, I'm out. I'm so excited to talk about that stuff because you should. I'm excited to share my perspective as well.
Deep, dark rabbit hole.
Oh yeah. So that's why we're saving it because
it's
there was some it'll
be interesting.
And honestly, I was talking to my wife about even like why I was out of commission for like a month, and then you were kind of out of commission for a month, so to speak.
It's just some lame baby excuse.
But no, even
being
before
a good
that,
dad.
Before that, you know, the thing where I thought I was going to die. But I think I'm going to share some of that too. Is where, because I mean, part of this whole thing is not just this tiny little tunnel vision like deer. That's it. Obviously, like I want to share the stuff that goes around it. How do you balance family and life? And the stresses of life. What does hunting add? What does it take away? What's the cost? You know what I mean? And so there's things like, you know, even like trying to have a podcast. It's like, So I'm really, I guess I digress, but I'm excited to actually have something to share as well. And I'm sure there's people out there that are going to be able to relate and hopefully make it more normal to talk about that kind of stuff when we get there. But
So I don't know. Anything else from last year that really stood out to you? I mean, I feel like that was kind of the
and
big
then there
level
was
highlights.
And then there was the attempted turkeys. I only made it like twice. So there was that.
Yeah, I'm excited for turkey season for 2020.
Me too. I'm using a shotgun, everybody. Mark my words.
Lame.
I gotta, no. We talk about managing expectations, and I'm like, you know what? I really need to. I'd love to actually just get a wild turkey, and so I'm gonna start there.
I get it. Some people like settling. That's okay. I mean, you're talking to the idiot over here that was like 3 weeks out from turkey season. Well, I'm going to sell my compound and just go with the recurve. I barely know how to shoot. So I mean, maybe I'm I got some. I'm on a certain end of the spectrum, and it's just
you're definitely on the spectrum. That's good. Dude,
so speaking of 2020,
dude, 2020, we haven't really talked like super in depth about this, so everybody's just
gonna be,
they're gonna be.
Yeah. This is our processing, folks. So
yeah, everybody's gonna be out along for the ride. Yeah,
drink some Red Bull and be prepared to lose your mind.
We're gonna get PowerPoints up on here pretty soon. Exhibit A. Yeah, man. Well, we're in it, and so looking at the 2020 season,
in it to win it.
From a hunting perspective, for me, just say hunting for the second. What I'm hoping to do.
Hunting.
Thank you for saying that for
You're
a second.
Welcome.
I was a little under a second, actually. I'm hoping to hunt turkeys. I'm going to do more waterfowl because we had
a bow? Dang it.
Oh, gosh. No.
You might want to get a recurve.
Well, my sons will be a little bit older, and I didn't get to go out at all this year waterfowl hunting. Actually, I say I don't get to. I was focused on deer hunting. And so, but I think my kids started asking about it even this winter right now.
Nice.
And I'm like, dude, it's such a fun way to hunt, and my one son loved it when he was out. And so, I'm going to do more waterfowl hunting, fall turkey and deer. I think that's nice. And then I'm just going to keep saving up my preference points for the Wisconsin bear tag.
Not the elk tag?
Yeah, I'm still. Hey, you don't get preference points. You don't get preference for the elk tags, okay. But I am putting in for one of those. Nice. 5 tags maybe. If people quit accidentally shooting them.
Really?
Yeah, there's a lady I believe in Wisconsin shot two elk.
2.
Yeah.
How do you accidentally shoot 2 elk?
So what happened was, I'll bunny trail this. So from my recollection, I believe this was Wisconsin. From my recollection is that. The deer, aka the elk, had come in. It was a
really big deer.
It was a spike. It was a spike elk.
Okay.
Right. Only like 3 feet long. and I believe she said she just saw a portion of it. And this is where we say, be sure of your target. And also what's beyond, but be sure of your target.
Yeah.
So she shot, and then it kind of ran.
Yeah.
And then she saw it again. She didn't know that was a totally different animal. Gosh. And shot again.
Oh my gosh. You're going to have to find the story and post it later. Not right now, but later.
I'll superimpose it on the YouTube so you guys can look at it.
Because I want to see this.
Yeah. So it was pretty unreal. I read the thing and you know what? Hey, kudos to her because she did turn herself in.
Okay.
She was crying about it, super, super remorseful about it.
I can respect that.
I believe paid a hefty fine. And
hopefully we'll learn a great life lesson.
Yes. And then
elk are slightly bigger than deer.
Yeah. And then all the meat was donated to charity. Okay. So they made the most of it for what it was, but man, it's painful when there's 5 tags.
5 tags and then somebody shoots.
I'm pretty sure there's more elk shot this year than just those 2, but that was the one that I had read about, and I was like, oh, that's painful.
Oof.
Yeah.
Jeez Louise. Anyhow.
Yeah, that was a bunny trail. Where were we?
No, that was an elk trail. Wah, wah, wah.
Oh boy, now our springs on our mics are
going. Oh yeah.
All right. So what else were we talking before?
So you've got turkey, you've got waterfowl, you've got deer, and possibly bear, if possible.
I'm probably just going to save preference points.
Okay, preference points.
Because I think anyway, I'm going to save it.
Okay.
Because I just the time, even learning how to do it right now is not on the forefront. So.
Yeah. Because
So that'll be primarily Wisconsin, and then I'll do some predator hunting as well, but that's kind of just on the side. Wake up at 2 or 3 in the morning before work to go out.
Yuck.
Yeah. So anyway, dude. Right. What about you?
Yeah, for me, obviously turkey. Mm-hmm. I'm looking forward to turkey season coming up. I actually think I'm going to take my oldest.
Yep.
I mean, I took her out one day last year, but I think I'm going to actually invest in getting her own 20 gauge shotgun,
dude.
Because she wants to go. She really wants to go out, so I think I'm going to take her down. Mm-hmm. There's actually a youth hunt that my buddy Steve, who runs Hobby Game Calls, and his buddy Charles, they put on every year, where they take a bunch of youth out. So I'm going to take her down for that, get her out hunting.
So you're not too prideful to be like, hey, Dad doesn't know totally how to get this done easily for you here, so we'll elicit some help.
Yeah, I mean, I can get you to the turkeys. I've not had a problem getting to the turkeys. It's been able to get a shot out.
Closing the deal.
Yeah. So I'm excited to take her out. I'm excited to go out turkey hunting because I just, this is the year. It's going to happen. I'm going to get my first turkey, and I'm not going to go with the shotgun because I'm stubborn.
Yep.
Persistent, as some might say, stubborn.
Yeah.
As others might classify it as. But now that I actually can shoot a recurve halfway decently on a good day. Yeah. That I feel like I should be able to do it this year. Yeah. And I'm not going to go hunting with a certain 15-year-old who's trigger happy and is going to rob me of my opportunity.
Yeah, but you know what? He's got a lifelong memory.
Yeah. So, turkey. And then plans are in the work for a mule deer hunt out in Wyoming.
Without me.
Without you.
How dare you, sir?
I know. I'm cheating on you. I'm so sorry.
You're going to come back. I could come back and we'd have all this content to share,
but don't worry, I'll have plenty of content to share.
You'll come back with like 3 pictures and a bad attitude. It's gonna just
probably the odds of that happening is probably high. But actually, as long as I can put a stock on, I don't care. It's almost like if it fails, as long as I get to put a stock on, I'm actually pretty happy.
I'm skeptical of this. In theory, you're pretty happy.
What? Tell me what time I ever got put a stock on that I wasn't happy at the end.
I don't know. I'm just saying it's a big trip.
That's the one form of hunting I've never been disappointed with yet.
I will be very happy for you if you're happy with that.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. But I'm saying that I also
it's me sitting there waiting for the dumb animals to come in that don't come in. That's what pisses me off.
Like, you're not cooperating.
Exactly. Like if I can see the animal, if I can go after it, and they end up running away because of my own failures and idiocracy, I'm okay with that. Like I have control issues, and if I can't...
Commitment and control issues, my goodness.
No, I don't have commitment issues. I'm very committed. Oh, gosh. Maybe stubbornly committed.
For a short period of time, and then you switch that. You like change.
I do like change. I like...
I wouldn't say
we call it so experimentation.
Yeah.
It's for the greater good of the science of our podcast.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Fair enough.
Yeah, so mule deer hunt, really excited about that.
That'd be so cool.
Hoping that works out.
Yeah.
And then obviously just more whitetail.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to start diving in this year. I've got a few areas picked out and really just dive into those areas and get to understand the deer there and then make it happen. And I've got the one big shooter that I want to, hopefully he's still alive. I want to find him. I want to kill him.
You have a camera out there still?
I did, but I was out there.
That 10-pointer?
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, that 10-pointer who have nicknamed Sawyer.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Not that clever, but
But you get it, but nobody else gets it.
Most of the people who listen will know exactly why it's called Sawyer.
Nobody knows why it's called Sawyer.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
But
we'll be dropping the GPS location on the screen if you're watching on YouTube. That's the way to get people on
there
here.
We go.
Just put where the deer are.
Just start dropping the wrong GPS locations. I'm excited. Yeah. I think that'll be one of the goals that I have for this year, and just thinking about like having some like specific, like for whitetail at least, a specific whitetail that I want to chase after.
Yeah.
That's kind of one of the lessons and reflecting back on this year. I've had, we'll share at some point. I think the parallels in lessons learned for me in both jiu-jitsu and hunting this year that ironically have paralleled themselves without me intending or realizing. And so it's been kind of neat. It's been a really interesting year on both those ends and how they've meshed together. And I'm excited for this year and just being able to start like focusing in. Dude,
that's going to be so, that's...
As Jocko would say, good.
So so we got the kind of the hunting side of it, right?
Yeah.
What would be the next kind of overall category that we'd be looking at?
Man, I think
podcast goals.
Yeah. So as far as the podcast, we started talking about what are some goals that we have for 2020 and VCP. Hashtag VCP Nation.
Yes.
Keep using it, folks.
Yeah, let's fire it up.
So what's our first goal? Potential goal.
I'd say our first goal. I'd really like to get. I think we both really like to get a booth at Bowfest.
Yeah,
I would like to do that. I think that would be a lot of fun. It'd be fun to be able to sit down with people and talk and just pick people's brains and hear some stories and share them. I think that'd be a lot of fun. There's things even, I know, like I'd love to start creating like an actual, a little bit more merchandise for people. I think like it's been like one of the coolest things when I hear someone be like, "Hey, just saw your hat out and what?" And I'm like, "No way!" That like it's really cool, and I just think it's cool, like that representation of the community and people being, you can like, I've seen people at random, or I've seen people. It's a weird thing, and maybe it's a little too me focused or us focused. No, really, I'm totally open to that possibility. But like when you see pictures of it in like people's like everyday lives and stuff, you're like, cool. Like just something to come from nothing, and they've supported you, and they've been like giving you the nod by going that extra step and doing that. Like, to me, I'm so appreciative of it, and it just kind of feels a little unreal, you know. And I know we're not huge yet, but
we don't have our own private island,
not yet.
Even if it's in the middle of nowhere, Podunk, Wisconsin, or Minnesota, we'll have it.
So I'd love to expand that side of it too. But yeah, I think Bowfest and just make more connections would be really cool, and really try to grow the community and just hear from people, you know?
Yeah, I think that'll be, I mean, that kind of, we were talking about, that's kind of a part A to the part B overall goal. Big goal is hopefully next year for 2021, get ourselves established enough and legitimate enough to be able to make it to the Archery Trade Association show. It's kind of been a goal of mine for the last few years. Once I found out that it's not just open to the public, that you actually have to have like social media presence and be a legit company. Now that we have a podcast that we can turn into an actual like legit company, legally, I would love to go. And there's certain stipulations that have to be met, and so one way we see of doing that is, getting ourselves established as a company, looking at Bowfest as, kind of a twofold, as a way to connect with people, and you hopefully do some recording. I mean, there's a lot of, high names that come through, and then but even, I think more so for us, like, while it's cool, and there's certain high name individuals I would love to someday interview, guys like Donnie Vincent, guys like Aaron Snyder,
dude, that'd be sick.
Papa Snyder, but like more so, I just also want to interview people that aren't known but have interesting stories that should be shared, that need to be shared for the greater good of the hunting community. And so
a lot of those.
So I'm hoping that can happen. And both that's, and also too from a business standpoint, like it's a great chance for us to bring in some merchandise, hopefully sell a buttload of merchandise to help establish that legitimate business end of things and get that rolling, and be able to expand that out and provide more merchandise. So I'm excited for kind of those possibilities.
I think that's going to be an absolute blast, whether we're shooting there or sitting around and shooting the breeze. So
I'm excited.
I think that is.
I'm excited to get back to our Monday morning early shoots this year.
I was really surprised by how much I missed those when we stopped doing them. I was like, dude, there was like, when you start your day or your week off that way, I was great. Like, this is unreal how much I enjoyed this. So I mean,
I hate waking up early. That was like the only thing that I found that waking up early for was actually enjoyable.
You're like, I got this. Get your coffee, head out, mosey
meet up
out
with some friends, and
just do some cold shots, right? We'd start out doing cold shots to see where we're at, and it's like, well, that's ugly. But again, like that camaraderie in it, and dude, from the first episode, like when we were talking together, even before we started recording any episodes or even had the idea of a podcast, it was like, the first thing I do when I get out of the woods is like, who can I call? Who can I talk to? Who can I connect with over this stuff? Who can I share this with? And so to have that and to feel like there is that community and place for people to share and have that connection, like to me, that has just been such a fulfillment for me. And then to hear other people that are feeling the same thing or enjoying it or, starting out because they want to be a part of it, it's just been so cool.
It has been.
Yeah. Is there anything else you think that we need to cover? We were just going to kind of do the high level stuff today, but
I think that kind of does it. Just continue to expand what we're doing. Hopefully, create some more content. Audibly. visually, some more films.
Yes.
And just, start sharing some more stories, getting more guests on this year.
Yeah.
Because, you guys get tired of listening to just us ramble.
These raggedy old dudes.
About what issues we have with one another.
I think that'd be one cool thing. And I mean, that's my leniency is the visual side of it. Like I love doing that part of it. And then if there is anything that, I don't know, like if people are interested in learning about something, or, I mean, we're not experts at anything, but if there's something specific that we can share or that people enjoy more than other things, like just shoot a message, whatever it is. I mean, you can see us on Instagram, Facebook, any of those areas, YouTube comments, we'll see them all. And so, I would absolutely love to kind of indulge anybody's curiosities on that kind of stuff. So I love it. It's like a little passion for me. So,
and I think that's kind of one of the big things that you and I are trying to do is both through the community and through the podcast is we recognize that we're not experts at all or anywhere close. I mean, I'm barely out of the womb, hunting's wise. But I just want to be able to share what we're learning and the information that we're learning as well. Because I feel like
who it's from, and so that people can use the resource.
Yeah, because I feel like one of the gifts that I've been given was I've always felt like I've had a good ability to find good information. That was I grew up homeschooled, but that was one of the things my mom instilled in us.
Home
taught. Might explain a few things if you guys are wondering. But one of the things that my mom did really well in with me and my brothers was her whole philosophy was I want to teach you guys how to be able to learn well. Yeah. And I think that's really carried over into a lot of the things that I do. And hunting being one of them is I don't know a whole lot. I don't know how to do a whole lot.
Yeah.
But I've been able to find, I feel like, some really good resources of information that a lot of people don't. And I think, there's a lot of crap out there, in the hunting industry.
I mean,
from
even Facebook comments
to equipment to everything, brands, etc., that I just want to be able to be a platform, to be a voice, to be a community that can share good information with one another so that we can all learn, that we can all get better.
Yeah. Well, and I think a big part of that too is a place where you can actually talk about it, or people you can talk to, whether it's one-on-one or whatever it might be, where you can challenge the ideas too. And it's not just this Facebook warrior, hey, you should do this. Then someone does it and you're like, oh, you're an idiot, right? Like trying to avoid that part of it, because where nobody's going to learn, nobody's going to want to hear anybody's actual input if that's kind of the response they're getting. And so having a place where people can do it without having to as soon as I disagree with what they're saying, they shut down to me. So I guess I'm just going to go somewhere else, and you can be missing out. But yeah, man. So, well, cool.
I think that's our 2019 in review and our 2020.
Look forward.
Look forward. Because it's not hindsight yet.
Not yet.
That's next year.
Yeah, that's going to be a super fun one for us dads to say. Hindsight's 2020.
Yeah, buddy.
All right, man.
Hey,
okay, it's getting weird.
Yeah, we're really a podcast couple now.
You guys, Podbean, YouTube, we're getting a little bit more active on there. And what else? We got Google Play Music. We got
check out our link.
Yeah,
the link tree.
Go to Instagram. So, Instagram is probably I
Instagram
put a ton of links on the link tree on Instagram. It's right in the bio, whether it's Ethan Taylor or
Dustin Jelly.
Yeah, or Venator Chronicles, as you can see here, because you're watching on YouTube, right, guys?
Yeah.
So, all right, I've had enough of the plugging YouTube. Cool. Well, again, I'd say the biggest thing is thank you to you guys for this last year.
Yeah.
Thank you in advance for this coming year. We're super excited about it and super excited to share the highs and lows. Basically, everything we started the podcast about in the beginning.
Yep.
It's just a big season of growth overall. So
it'll be a bigger one this year.
Appreciate you guys' support and listening in.
All right. Thanks, guys. Peace out.